very special guest with us today, and I'm not going to introduce you. You're going to introduce yourself and your contribution to the film.
Yeah. So my name is Omar Kamara. I'm the writer, director, and producer of African Giants.
My name is Leo Blumberg-Woll, and I'm the producer of African Giants.
And so with that, we know how Q&As work, right? So I'm going to be looking to you all to come up with some really good questions because, in my opinion, that was a really good film. But if I may, I would jack the first question. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So after watching this, I just got to ask, in relationship to your brother, your sibling, you know, blood or not, how has your sibling interactions inspired this film?
Yeah, well, my brother is sitting right there. So the film is based off me and his relationship. And unfortunately, I wish I could say it wasn't mostly autobiographical, but it is almost 95% autobiographical. I would say the only things like that didn't, some of those conversations, some things didn't happen in one weekend. I condensed it for the film, but those interactions did happen. And unfortunately, me being out of commission and my little brother sitting next to me and taking care of me after too crazy a night did happen. And that was actually inspiration from the film. That was the seed of it because my mom had told me the quote earlier, which is, be careful how you behave. Your little brother's watching, you're his hero. And at that moment, my little brother became my hero and took care of me when I was like in a less than ideal position. And so I realized then that their relationship can change and go either way. So it was actually like, you know, I don't know if our relationship has changed after the film, but I think it was putting the truth of our relationship into the film because you know, most of that stuff happened.
Shout out to little brothers, am I right?
Yes.
And thank you for that transparency. So at this time, if we have any questions from the audience, I will gladly receive those. And if not, I will continue because I can ask questions all day. Going once. We have one right here, and then I see you in the back.
Oh, hi. I'm Omete, and I really enjoyed your film. What I really liked is your... Okay, can everyone hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm Monet, I'm a filmmaker, and one of the things I really loved about your film was the cinematography and the shots. They were really beautiful. My favorite shots were the hero shots before the title card of Saturday and Sunday. So I just wanted to know if you could talk about your inspiration and how you collabed with the cinematographer for those shots.
Absolutely. So I'm very lucky. I went to film school at AFI, and I met my cinematographer, Jonas Fisher, there. And so he shot, so far, shot everything I've done. He did my short, which actually played Pan-African in 2021, called Mass Ave. And then we just shot this feature together, and we're doing another project together, actually in pre-production right now. But he has been like the greatest key collaborator to me, because when I got into AFI, I was like a very raw filmmaker. Like I remember on the first day, they're like, some people are very skilled, and other people are just at the beginning of their careers. And I realized that I was the person they were talking about. It was like at the bottom of the barrel. And he, on the first day, you have to play your film, and like an old film you made. And after that, I was not feeling very good about myself. Veronica, you remember, she went to AFI as well. I was not feeling good about myself, and I saw Jonas is real, and I thought he was the most talented DP in the program. And I was feeling bad about myself. I walked outside, and he walked directly up to me, kind of like a movie. I felt like everything parted. He walked up to me and was like, yo, we should work together. And we've been shooting like 4 or 5 movies in now. We've been shooting movies ever since. But for those shots, those were called undisclosed locations in the script. And I always had them in the script as, you know, it's going to be like this introspective thing where they read quotes to each other. But my DP originally wanted to do it like in black. And our production designer, Bonnie, had this idea. She showed me this image of stained glass reflecting on this kitchen. And I thought it was so beautiful. And I was like, I want to take that stained glass and put it on their faces while they're doing that. So it's actually really cool how we accomplished those shots. It's actually like 12 different people working in unison. There was someone holding stained glass in front of a light, and we were pushing dolly track in as they go into those shots, while playing the voiceover at the same time to accomplish them. But it was really like a collaboration between my cinematographer, my PD, and then gaffing the whole crew to get it done. But those shots, I think those right before the title cards are probably my favorite part of the film. I think it's kind of magical.
Hello, everybody hear me? Yeah. So love the film. Here to support one of the leads, Omete.
Oh, yes, yes. Shout out to Omete.
Yeah. So I guess my question, the two leads, like, I for sure could have thought that they were for real related. So I guess what was the, I guess when you went through the choices of who to choose for these roles, what is the thing that drew you to the two leads?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. So Omete, like I said, my short that played here in 2021, Omete was the lead of that. So me and Omete always make jokes where I was like, I'm Scorsese, you're gonna be De Niro, or you're like DiCaprio. Like we just want to do stuff together. And I actually wrote that part for him. So when on the set of our short, he was actually applying to Juilliard. He actually goes to Juilliard now. And he was applying to Juilliard, and I was like, don't go to Juilliard, stay here, we'll make movies. And he's like, no, I'm going to Juilliard. And he got in, and I told him, like, all I want is that you can come back to me, like, over the course of the summer or something, come back and we'll shoot something. And I remember I sent him the script, and he FaceTimed me, he goes, bro, I gotta tell you, most time directors tell me they're gonna send me a script, they don't do it. Like, you actually following up, you're like delivering on these things. And I was like, bro, the work that you did on my short, like, I wanna work with him forever. Like, he's one of I love Omete to death. And so I cast him, and then he actually is, I don't know if you guys saw, he's an associate producer on the film, because he was very integral in like the script, giving notes, was there from the beginning. And so when I watched casting tape, so he was pre-cast, I watched a casting tape from our casting director, Suzanne Yabu, who's wonderful, and I saw the older brother, and I watched him, and I was actually in my apartment, and I walked out, and my fiance is sitting there, and I walked out to my fiance, and I was crying, and I was like, you gotta see this casting tape, this guy's amazing. And I literally said, he's like the Ugandan Marlon Brando. And what I didn't know is that the casting director goes, I think he goes to Juilliard too. And what I didn't know is he just got accepted to Juilliard. And not only that, he got assigned as Omete's younger brother mentor at Juilliard. So they're like mentors to each other at Juilliard. And so they already had known each other. They ended up coming out, we did a bunch of rehearsals together, and we have a group chat called African Giants, we still text all the time today. But I think I was just kind of some of it's just being fortunate that they already had that connection, but then we worked on it in rehearsals to really get it right. But those guys are close in real life, so I think that's kind of why they feel close on screen.
Great answer. Do we have any other questions? You'll be my final warning. All right, she did just a draw back there.
I can yell.
Okay, I can repeat if we need to.
Okay. This is really great, and I'm just wondering, with the story inspired so closely with your life, did you feel, was it emotional while you were directing it as well, and kind of writing it and seeing it play out? Like, was it hard to kind of separate reality and the film, or did you just work through that while you were doing it?
Yeah, that's a great question. At AFI, I had a mentor named Rob Spera, and he said, if you're not willing to go to the deepest parts of your soul to make your film, how do you expect it to connect with an audience? You have to go to the places you don't want to go, talk about the things you don't want to talk about, shame, fear, grief, all that stuff. So when I wrote the film, I kind of put that in there. Like I was like, you can't be scared, put some stuff, even stuff you're uncomfortable about, like the conversation, like, the Akata conversation, that's unfortunately based off real stuff. And I was like, I don't want to put this in there. That's like too real, it's like too raw. And because I was scared of it, I was like, actually, that's why I should put it in there. And so I put it in there, and although it's like hard to watch, it's unfortunately like a truth in a lot of communities. And so I wanted to bring light to that. And kind of talk about that, something that upset me when I heard it and heard it over the years. But then after that, on set, I was so excited to be making a movie, I was fine. And this guy brought actually like someone to be like, I guess like my shadow on set. And we're shooting the final scene where the brothers are taking care of each other in the room, which like I said, is based off something that really happened. And the shadow walks up to me and she goes, hey, like, this must be like really emotional for you. This must be like, if this was me, like I would be like a wreck. I was like, no, I'm cool. Just shooting a film, it's all good. She's like, really? Because I would be, I'll be super emotional. I was like, no, I feel kind of numb. Maybe when I'm driving home, like I'll feel something. And she's like, okay. And she walks away. And like 20 seconds later, I walk into the set. We were about to shoot that scene. I don't know what happened, y'all. It was like I sobbed. Like I started sobbing on set. Somebody had the good fortune to be like, go get Omete. They ran to get Omete. Omete runs in and just sat in front of me. He was sitting in front of me, and I was crying. He was sitting in front of me. My DP had his arm around me. I sobbed for a good 5-7 minutes. And the whole crew was just quiet. And then I was like, okay, let's shoot.
Great, thank you. Round of applause.
Thank you all very much.
So with that note, we're gonna go ahead and close this theater out. I have to get ready for the next film, but the conversation